Welcome to another episode of Wheel of Horror, the podcast where two best friends spin a wheel every day leading up to Halloween for 13 days and discuss them. Today we are talking about 13 Ghosts, which was released in 2001 and was directed by Steve Beck. I'm your co-host, Alec.
Oh, I'm Eric. Just kidding, it's Justin, but I am filling in for Eric today.
See, it actually makes sense today for you to do it that way. It actually makes sense. Well, welcome back, Justin, and we're talking about a doozy here, 13 Ghosts. You and I were 11 when this movie came out, and I don't think I've seen it probably since I was about 12 or 13 years old.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, and it's been at least a decade.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, well over a decade for me. Definitely had like a soft spot in my heart, because I remember just like Ghost Ship and what was it, The Haunting, all of those movies that came out around then, pay-per-viewed this like relentlessly when it first came out, but not much stuck with me. I forgot Matthew Lillard was in it. The only thing that really stuck with me was, dude, when that glass like cut that guy in half.
I didn't remember that.
Oh, that's like the only thing I remember.
Yeah, the only thing I remembered is that Shannon Elizabeth was in it, and that's because ever since I saw her when I was like, I don't know, 10 in American Pie 1, I was like, I'm in love with her. So,
oh, dude, you're obsessed with her.
I'm obsessed.
You always bring her up. Like...
Dude, like, they had to. It was funny, too, because when the ghost was attacking her, it, like, smacked her boob, and I was like, they had to do that. They had to just throw that in.
I thought, because it was rated R, I was like, wait, are we going to see Shannon Elizabeth's boob again? And then, no.
No, only once, but they definitely, like, jiggled it very aggressively.
Well, we do get the, I was kind of wondering why this movie is rated R. I mean, obviously, because, like, that guy gets legitimately split in half.
There's a lot of blood.
There's a lot of blood, and then there's that one naked ghost lady. So I was like, okay, all right, I guess it. Yeah. And they probably say fuck a couple times, but whatever.
Yeah, forgot Matthew Lillard was in it. He's so underrated, dude.
He's an acquired taste. I like him.
But, like, I mean, dude, like, the roles that he plays, they're good for him.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, Scream 1, Scooby-Doo as Shaggy. I mean, he's no Leonardo DiCaprio, but he's good in his roles.
He's no Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah, no, well, he was in the new Twin Peaks, and he actually has a scene that you're like, dude, this guy can really act, actually. He's like an interrogation scene where he's talk about his wife getting murdered and why he didn't do it, and you're just like, dude, you played Shaggy in Scooby-Doo? Like, what the fuck? Like, you're a good actor. But yeah, I mean, this is a tough one. This is a tough movie. It's not great, and nostalgia can only go so far for so long. But yeah, it was made by the same people that made Ghost Ship. Okay,
I can see that. Yeah.
So I'm a bigger fan of Ghost Ship. Obviously, we love that movie here, but this one has some charm. It did. Starts off a little weird. It's like in an abandoned. It was like a junkyard.
Yeah, like a junk car lot or something.
Yeah, and they pull up, and I mean, I'm not even kidding. It's like the way it was shot. I thought it was like a movie within a movie because of the way that guy got out and he like pulled his cape off. I was like, is this like? And then somebody's gonna be like, cut! Like that's really what I thought was gonna happen because it just looks so like manufactured. But that was a fun scene. Whatever. You hire like 50 mercenaries and you're like, we're going to a junkyard to get ghosts. Now, I want to ask you, Justin, you're a military guy. I know you didn't, you're not like a mercenary. But if somebody said, we'll pay you $100,000, you don't even know what I'm going to say.
I'm not going to capture killer ghosts. No.
Okay, wait. Just let me pitch this to you. All right. 1 day's work. Mm-hmm. You and all your, ex-military guys are like, we'll pay you $100,000. You go to this abandoned junkyard outside of Toronto. You got to pick up a ghost. And you're like, I don't believe in ghosts. And everybody's like, I don't believe in ghosts either. What about you, Rodriguez? And like, I don't believe in ghosts either, Sarge. And you guys take your cigars out of your mouths. You get in your car. And you guys go there. You've all got your guns. You're like, this is stupid. And then, but you're like, dude, $100,000 one night. You still wouldn't go?
No. What good are guns against ghosts?
But you don't believe in ghosts, Justin.
No.
Okay, fair enough. Well, these guys do. They go to the junkyard to try and catch the ghosts. And then we get a very convoluted, like, side story with that side woman and her, like, boyfriend or whatever, who are like, they're human beings. It's like, they're murderous ghosts, but sure. And then the guy dies, right? But doesn't.
Yeah, I was a little confused. Okay, he definitely died. Like, his throat was, like, it was, like, decapitated on that thing. But then he also died as a ghost?
This movie doesn't really make sense, but so that part, so basically in the beginning we see the leader guy, I can't remember his name, like Christophorus or whatever, He gets his neck sliced in half. We don't see, it's off screen, and you're like, okay, he's dead.
Yeah, Cyrus Criticos.
And then at the very, very end, Tony Shalhoub or whatever takes his glasses off, and he sees that he's not a ghost. So that's why he's like, you son of a bitch, and runs at him. So I was like, what the fuck? Like, he died in the beginning. His throat is slit. And then he has a love affair with that woman. So you're like, what the fuck is going on right now?
Yeah, I was pretty sure he died because the camera literally, he was laying there. It looked like his whole neck went through that shard of metal. Well, yeah. Let's just say hypothetically he lived, right? And somehow got medical attention. I mean, even at the end of the movie when we thought he was a ghost, like, he still had a gaping wound in his neck.
You're right. So then why, when Tony Shalhoub takes his glasses off, is he can still see him?
I don't know, but when he got sucked into that, like, fucking mechanic thing, like, his limbs got cut off like he was a human. I don't know. And then, like, Kalina Ortizia, the woman who, like, was trying to help him open the Eye of Hell. It was just a lot of questions. First of all, Tony Shalhoub, the monk guy.
Yeah.
I've only seen him in Monk and Galaxy Quest.
Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
I don't think I saw that one. First of all, the first thing I was thinking was when they show Shannon Elizabeth as his daughter, I'm like, there's no way she came from his balls. Because she's gorgeous and he's just like not.
Well, Justin, actually, hold on, you ready for this? So Tony Shalhoub is Lebanese, okay? And hold on, and guess what Shannon Elizabeth's dad is?
You can say Lebanese?
Yep, Lebanese. So I'm not saying that but hey, I'm just saying, kind of believable.
Wait, is Mia Khalifa Lebanese?
The porn star?
Yeah.
I don't fucking know.
Anyway, moving on. Anyway, so I'm thinking they got like the stereotypical little brother who's just super annoying and high pitched.
I hated him.
And then somehow this math teacher who, he even says, I don't make a lot of money, can afford Rod Digga, who is an actual MC, like a DJ person, as a full-time babysitter.
Oh yeah, that made no sense.
And then this lawyer comes at like the middle of the day and he's like, hey.
No. The morning, because they were like, get ready for school. And he's like, God damn this scooter! Like,
Yes. He comes in the beginning of the morning, and the monk guy is like, yes, I will stop everything I'm doing and drive round trip 4 hours right now. He could have been like, I gotta go on the weekend.
Can I just say one thing about that?
Yeah.
So right when he says it's about a 4-hour drive upstate, okay? So it's breakfast because they're about to go to school. By the time they get to that house, it is nighttime.
That is true. It's literally pitch black. And you got Matthew Lillard there pretending to be the electrician dude.
Yep, perfect timing that they arrive right when he's there. Perfect timing.
Yeah, and it was funny because he and the attorney dude, who you could just tell he was giving off very, like, mischievous vibes, they got into, like, this tiff, right? Where the Matthew Lillard was like, yeah, we've got, like, 5,000 people without power right now. And the attorney was like, why is that our problem? It's like, it's actually, like, literally your problem. Like, it's because of the house.
Well, that's another thing I wanted to ask you. So you're telling me that this house knocked out all of the power for everybody else, but not its power? Like, yeah, it would blow out all, including that house's power, if that's what happened.
I don't know, man. A lot of questions. Like, the attorney who knew there were killer ghosts in the basement. First of all, if I knew a location had killer ghosts in it, I would not go to that location, ever. Nonetheless, in the basement where they're kept, and then he's making fun of them.
The guy's making fun of the ghosts.
He's insulting them, yeah.
Here's the other thing. The guy that makes fun of the ghosts, who's like the broker of this whole deal or whatever, he goes down to the basement, takes the money off of the, like, brake safety thing or whatever, and then all of the ghosts and all hell breaks loose or whatever then. You're like, he didn't know that that's what would happen. Why didn't he just take out a little bit of money? Why did he take the whole thing? Like, so this movie throws up so many questions and just doesn't answer any of them.
Maybe, did Criticos do that purposely? Like, he knew the attorney would get the money and then it would lock the house for all of them, I guess?
But, like, didn't that guy, like, the broker guy, seem like he knew all of this stuff? He obviously wasn't afraid of the ghosts at first, so he must have known all of this was going to happen. Like, he brought Tony Shalhoub there on purpose.
Yeah.
You know? Like, so he must have known, like, okay, we're going to trap him here. So wouldn't he think, like, why do you even take the money? To just show them, like, by the way, we really do have money here. Here's the cash. Like, it just, yeah, dude, pretty freaking stupid.
Yeah, it's not perfect by any means.
Let's talk positives.
Positives, Shannon Elizabeth.
Oh, 100%, hands down.
When like I said, when the I forgot what they called that one ghost with the cage on her head. She was like the lead ghost.
Oh, yeah.
She was actually kind of the jackal. She was actually kind of scary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she like smacked Shannon Elizabeth boob, and that was like that's all Shannon's given us this movie. And then, dude, like for some reason though, it almost seemed like the people who didn't have the glasses on, they weren't getting attacked. I thought you could not get hurt if you couldn't see them, but then if you remember, Matthew Lillard was dodging the bat.
Yeah, because the
bat guy, was hitting him.
But she was telling, because of the other lady was like, hey, like duck or whatever, like But yeah, so that's kind of bullshit. Like, imagine you don't know anything about ghosts at all, and you're just walking. You're like, you and your friends are going to that abandoned junkyard, just walking. All of a sudden, like, your friend's head just gets cut off out of nowhere, and you're like, what the fuck? And like, so is that what we're supposed to believe that ghosts can do? They don't haunt people. They just like. Because they said that when Matthew Lillard in the beginning, when he touched the ground, he's like, this thing's killed 40 people. So does that mean he's just walking around murdering random people?
Well, those ghosts specifically, they said, are violent because they died in, like, violent situations, and they're kind of, like, stuck in this purgatory. So it would have... This movie had two directions. Kritikos, the old rich guy, could have hired mercenaries to collect these evil ghosts and capture them so that they can't do harm. Or, of course, there's this big spooky book that basically says you capture them all. It opens this, like, eye to hell that releases all of them. And that's the approach he was going with.
But why do you want to even do that?
Just because it seemed like a classic. He was so rich that he just, like, he needed to do something that money couldn't buy, which was open a portal to hell.
Oh, my God. Give me a break. All right. So fine. So that all happens. Yeah, I mean, it's just, there's like, it's a short movie. There's 13 ghosts, and they don't really spend a lot of time on them.
Yes.
So it's just kind of, that's like the main draw of the movie, is just seeing what these are, and I can't really remember any of them except for the steel cage person and the naked woman.
Well, there's the Juggernaut, which was the guy who they caught in the mechanics lot area junkyard, and then there was that big dude who pulled, like, the spikes out of him with the hammer fist.
Yeah. But all right, so here's the thing. So it's basically like if you die in a violent, horrible way, you become this violent, evil ghost. How many war-torn countries had horrible, violent deaths? Shouldn't these things just be everywhere then?
Well, also, when Matthew Lillard came back as a ghost, he was helping them. So he wasn't bad.
Yeah, and he was violently murdered. His spine got crushed. Like, yeah. So the rules just aren't really established. Also, why do the ghosts want to capture the little kids? And not little kids. That one little kid, and then Shannon Elizabeth, where they're like, she's just a kid. I'm like, she's like 28, but sure. But why do they want the kids?
Well, they wanted the kids because the rich uncle knew that his nephew had kids. So the plan was to capture the kids, and then the uncle or monk would sacrifice himself, because in order to open the portal, you have to make a sacrifice in, like, the name of love. So he was going to die to save his kids. The portal to hell was going to open. I mean, it was like literally something that it sounds like you could write this in middle school, like in recess. Like, oh, there's a house.
And then this happens.
And then puzzles happen in the house, and then they get stuck, and Shannon Elizabeth's got big boobies. Like, yeah. I mean, you know, you're watching this because it's about a movie where people are trapped in a house and ghosts are hunting them.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's
same
tough.
concept as ghosts in a ship. They're stuck on a boat and ghosts are hunting them. You know, it's like Steve. It's like Steve is like from South Park. Like, Steve's like, guys, I got a new script, and they're like, the guy's like, all right, Steve, where are they stuck now? He's like, no, and there's like, are there ghosts, Steve? He's like, well, yes, but
and it's on a boat this time.
Well, this time they're on an airplane over the ocean. He's like, and there's ghosts on the plane, Steve. He's like, how'd you know?
Yeah. Well, this was his. He made this, and then he did Ghost Ship,
yeah,
and then that was it. They're like, all right, we've had enough of this.
No one's funding you anymore, Steve.
No, seriously. Yeah, so a lot of plot holes, which hurt the movie quite a bit. It was produced by Robert Zemeckis, though, which I'm kind of like, why? But he did the Back to the Future trilogy and Castaway and stuff. But he's probably a fan of, this is a remake. So there was one from 1960. And I looked a little bit into that. I don't really know much about the plot, but there is one kind of cool thing about that. It was presented in Illusion-O-Vision or whatever. And basically, it was a black and white film, but if you put on these glasses while you were watching it, the ghosts would appear